In this video, I will show you 3 tools which can destroy or save your life, automate innovation, and show, just for an example, the extremely quick pace and speed of AI development in specific tools. Second, 2 developments that show how AI will impact your job even quicker than you probably have it already on your radar, out of a direction that you probably don't have on your radar, and how incredible much money just lies in this space already, and 1 development that is critical so that you can navigate safely and good through the space of AI. Let's go. First is the Ideator. It's a tool from the MIT. Right now it's just waitlist only, but it empowers you to input a statement problem. Then it will create you a help, like ideas to better explore this problem. And then it helps you to come up with new solutions. So in a way, if that works, and if it works as intended, this can help you to just be innovative on the press of a button. I had this with one of my customers before, where he had the idea to ask ChatGPT for a solution, then visualize it with image generator like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or something. And then he asked me, okay, how do I make this, how is this the easiest way possible to make this into a prototype? Like just give it one of his coworkers? Nope. There are AutoCAD APIs where you can input an image and it will make you a construction out of it, a blueprint. And then you can build this blueprint, like make this fine-tune this blueprint and send it to a 3D printer or to a factory somewhere, and you will have your prototype shipped within days. So from months or maybe years of innovation, of rapid iteration even, probably months, you can get down to hours or at least days, which is impressive. Second story, the speed in another dimension visualized is this here. This is like Nick is a guy who has a good contact, I would say, to Midjourney. Feel free to dig deeper on him. I will post every links here in the description. And he made the points that V5 of Midjourney is already in training and V7 is already in the building, or like it's about to get built, like the basics at least. Which is very impressive because V5 already made possible like the pictures of the Pope or impossible pictures like, I don't know, like impossible animals or something, which are photorealistic, which is incredible. And their goal is to ship a new version every 30 days. So every month, they want to have the next iteration of it, which is mind-blowing if that works. And they say, okay, well, it's a little bit harder than they thought, but even if it's double, like once every 2 months, it's very, very impressive. And it's extremely important to have this on your radar. Which brings us to tool category number 3, and the first of the 2 big stories of this video. You probably have heard it already. It's voice cloning, like the KIDNAP-AI, or I don't know, the Scam AI, or whatever the titles of it are. The family Di Stefano was scammed in a way, or frauded, or whatever the right term for that specific attack vector is. Like the mother got a call from apparently her daughter, but it was someone else, a scammer, who just cloned the voice of the daughter. They just found out because a few hours later the daughter called her from a like the real daughter called her. But this just shows, just as a data point, just in this example, how important and how critical this is. I mean, just turn it around, like clone the voice of a parent, call a child, so the child will go to, I don't know, any place somewhere and you can kidnap a child without even records out of it. This is really, really important to get this right. And right now we have a few vectors to make this better, like better regulations, better tool regulations, just a better tech understanding, really, like, okay, you have to watch what number is calling me. Do I know are there some problems with the voice? Like, does it sound unnatural in any way or shape, etc. There are a few measurements that can be done to be safe against it, or safer again, which I don't have time to fully wrap up in this video. Maybe I will make a video about it if come and say it or something. But one thing additional to this fraud wasn't even made with technology that is state of the art. If you want to see a state of the art technology, just listen to this very little blip here.
Hello, my name is Suno, and I like pizza.
This is completely AI generated. I, of course, don't share the tools here that you can make this easily. This is just one very, very little example. But they have this within it. They have a loth at the end of the sentence. So we are very, very close, as it is with Midjourney, like image generators, to make completely and 100% or 99.9% realistic sounding clones of images, of voice, of video. We are even there, getting close there. So we have to be ready. We really, the only thing that can prevent you from getting harmed of this is knowledge about this technology and what, like where you have to put your focus on. That's the only option right now, because regulators take their sweet time, and we don't know what are the impacts of it. There will be legal cases. It all takes time, but that doesn't save you if you get attacked from it. And it's extremely easy to make an attack like this work. Just a little bit of history, I link it again in the description with it. This all started originally as bank haste software or attack vectors. Like usually before people got attacked, it was just used to clone the voice of a bank account owner and to, well, just got rid of his money from him. It's a hard time, it's a tough time. You need really deeply, you need technology, like the knowledge about technology to get this right. Well, that was the one story. Again, we don't have time to get deeper in this here. If you want to hear more, just tell me. Another video, just as a wrap up, you can here see from a reporter how she cloned her voice and how it even now just passed all the security measurements in a lot of cases. Very worth a view. Which brings us to the developments of this week. So part two developments that are critical, that are important this week. First off, we see a lot of movement in the chip industry. Specifically, Microsoft is getting its hand at specifically that industry. And that is important because AI progress has two underlying foundations. First, software, like the algorithms, that what I showed you before. And second, and that is overlooked very, very often, the hardware. Because right now, the complete hardware developments or the baseline hardware right now is just more or less like from the shelf. Like it's just GPUs that we have for, I don't know, decades right now. But it's getting more and more in the case that we use specialized AI chips for AI. So AI gets very, very quick, or very, very faster, very quickly, just using the right chips underneath it. That's a really, really huge story because anyone in the hardware space can make as well a lot of money and can speed up the whole AI development in a way that most people don't even aware of, or not aware of it, because it's hard enough to hold like the pace of the speed right now just in the software and tool development. I completely get it. But it's critical to understand this because if you're not, you may or may not feel safe or at least good informed if you're just good on the software side, but then the whole hardware side will blindside you. We see on the hardware side other developments as well, like for example, these cute robots that completely learned from themselves. Another big story, again, a lot of stuff happened this week. I will link all of it in the description just for a good overview. So the second big story today, as foreshadowed before, are big money. And we see this specifically at the quarterly reports from Google and Microsoft, which have already a big impact on their companies, just the AI part of it. So they make a lot of big money about it just because AI and cloud get a lot of progress as it is expected. But it gets that far that a German manager paper, like a manager magazine, titles how Microsoft and Google will like basically part the economy between themselves, which sounds like, yeah, but they are already quite big in the cloud business, etc., right? That's not meant there. They mean the whole or close to the whole global economy. Because if you have AI, you can be better in anything, like in any business, any niche, than anyone that doesn't use AI. So we are in for a really, really big change, which we see already, which is impressive actually, because usually adaptation rates of technology are not that fast, not remotely close to that. Usually it takes years or decades for companies and people to just adapt the technology, but this seems to be different. This seems to be quicker. Well, we see it in other things as well. We see it, Apple is going in it. We see the UK, like a whole country will get deeper in it. We see PVC will invest $1 billion. We see Coca-Cola makes a lot of bets in the space of AI, etc., etc. Every big company is getting into AI, and rightfully so, because again, if you don't, you just get out of the game sooner or later. And this leads to another interesting development, that you just don't need that many people anymore to have this kind of impact, because AI is your leverage. There's this very interesting article here from Tyler Cowen in Bloomberg, who argues that smaller and smaller companies can have bigger and bigger impacts. Again, I don't have the time to discuss this here fully. If you want to hear more, just write it down in the comments, but it's very, very interesting. So maybe in a later video, I will discuss it, what this will mean more for the workers right now, because there's also a lot of stuff that I don't even have time to discuss here right now, but it's important. So just buckle up and be ready. Again, you need AI knowledge to get through this. Which brings us to our last point, and this is the one critical concept for the week, and this is AI safety. AI safety is probably the most, or at least one of the most complex topics that is out there, because it has extremely many like facets. It's complex, it's very fast moving, etc. Just have a very, very brief look at it, because you just need to have a feeling, what is AI safety and what do I need, at least what topics do I need to know? And there are 3 macro topics. First, you need the like in the micro dimension, in the dimension that you use every day, which is data security. And we see here in this interesting article by Cyberhaven that even right now, a lot of people just insert critical information from their company into AIs from another company, which is hell from a data point. Like, you train to a degree a foreign model with your own data. This is, I don't know. We will need a lot of regulations and a lot of better guardrails to make sense of it and to know what we want to do here. Second dimension is the politics. We need, again, regulations. We need better laws, etc., to make sense out of this, and to make this to ensure that all this AI is used in the best way possible. Interestingly, a lot of lawmakers and politicians are already on the case, which again is usually not the speed that happens in this part. But thankfully, a lot of politicians are already aware and ready to go on this. So if it's good or not, I don't know, but at least it's quick enough. It's close to up to speed. And there's the technical part, like for example, Nemo that came out last week, where you can have like a security before it hits a data set. So for example, a customer wants to know something about red apples, but you only deal with green apples. You can say, Nemo, everything about red apples won't even go through your large language model. So it doesn't even get to the model to get answers on it. Interesting approach in any case. So we need more technical approaches as well. And the last thing that you need about AI security, so you need the data part, you need the regulations part, like politicians, etc. You need the technical part, how to make this like in the technology itself safer. And then there's the last part, the probably most complex part. This is called the AI alignment problem, or like the probably most important problem that we have right now, at least. How do we make an entity that is in principle infinitely more intelligent than we are, how do we make this safe and aligned to our values? Nobody knows. We are hopefully close to an answer, but I'm not sure about this. But the thing is, we are on the way. Again, like you saw it before, the iteration cycles are a month, maybe 2 right now. And that doesn't even take into concern the whole chip development and other things. So we are at the extreme space or extreme pace to make AI better. But what does better mean? Like even right now, it is sometimes even surpassing the human level. But that is not a relevant threshold for AI in any way or shape. Like it can, in principle, be infinitely better. We are just not good enough to comprehend what this kind of better means. So we may or may not build AI that is as intelligent to us as we are to an ant or a bumblebee, and try to discuss mathematics with an ant or a bumblebee. And maybe we build something that is that far away from us on the intelligence standpoint. This may or may not be good. I mean, it can solve all problems, probably. But the thing is, the critical thing is that we need to align it anyway with our values. And this is a very, very important and very hard problem. One could argue that, again, this is the only problem that is worth spending attention right now to. Because if we get this right, we very probably have a solution for climate change, for inequality, for whatever you can think of, because we have an AI that is infinitely, or not infinitely, but thousands and millions times more intelligent than we are. So this is a very, very important dimension to have on your radar as well. Again, we don't have, sadly, time to discuss this deeper. If you want to know more about it, just make a comment about it. This is it for the week. We see us next week. Ciao.